It's Behind the Book. Gill Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network, along with Jay Rood, Vice President, Racing Sports, MGM Resorts International. Jay, we're at the Aria Pool, obviously, and it's March Madness time. How great is this?
Yeah, it's the best time of the year, actually. You know, I mean, I know little kids like Santa Claus, but this is the best time of the year if you're a basketball enthusiast.
Or betting junkie. The first 4 days of March Madness, bigger handle in Nevada than that of the Super Bowl, right?
2X, yeah. The first 4 days are a very significant piece of business for the Racing Sportsbook in Nevada, especially all along the Strip. The Strip will be considerably busier than the local spots.
Love it. We'll get into it region by region on Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Back on Behind the Book from the beautiful Aria Pool right here on the Las Vegas Strip. Gill Alexander, Jay Rood. Let's get into the South region. Jay, the #1 seed in the South, happens to be the #1 overall seed in the tournament. That is the University of Virginia Cavaliers, the Who's, as we used to call them back in the DC area. 31-2. Might they also be your biggest liability in the futures book this year?
They are, yeah. I'm not going to be a big fan of the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
We had a better play, a pretty significant wager on them about 2 months ago, so we have a significant six-figure liability to them.
Oh.
So yeah, we're going to be looking for a team maybe down the chart a little bit to match up with them. That's going to give them some fits, hopefully.
I know for a fact that one of your other big liabilities in your top 3 actually happens to be the Arizona Wildcats. How convenient for you that Virginia, the #1 seed in the South, will have to play #4 Arizona in the South if the two teams are to advance to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and I would gladly exchange the Virginia the Arizona liability for the Virginia liability. So
you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll deal with Arizona as we get closer.
Arizona, by the way, 9-point favorites in their first round game. #4 seed Arizona against #13 Buffalo. Virginia, the 1 seed, 22.5-point favorites against #16 UMBC. The most action you're getting in that region as you look up and down the games?
Yeah, right now, I mean, the Arizona game is drawing some action. We opened that 10. They took Buffalo already a little bit in that, the Wise Guys did. 22 on Virginia seems like a really big number on a team that plays great defense, obviously.
With a low total, right?
With a low total, that's going to be, I would be hard pressed to lay that if I was, the average player here. But they'll probably look at that to do that, but. By far, we're going to be doing most of the activity come Wednesday night, Thursday. So right now, we're just getting little tidbits of Wise Guy play.
Yeah, and of course, this is just one region. We're talking about the South region. Also in that region, #2 Cincinnati is going to face Georgia State. And then you have the 3 seed Tennessee against #14 Wright State. One of these big seeds, not necessarily in this region, but somebody is not only going to not cover it, somebody's going to get upset. That's just how this works.
That's how it works. I mean, every year, we put up a specific prop. Will all #5 seeds advance? And the yes is plus 250. So it's something that happens. We took advantage of the popularity. They talk about it on TV all the time, and it's a prop that it's like will safety happen in the Super Bowl?
Right.
Just like that, where everyone jumps on the yes, but a 12 always shows up and plays hard and usually gets the win.
Yeah, the popularity.
29 out of last 33 years or something like that.
Yeah, popularity of 12 seeds beating 5 seeds. I'm guessing even a bigger upset will happen in terms of seeding. Who knows? The 16-1 has never happened. Maybe this is the year. We'll talk about some of those when we get to the next regions Behind the Book from the Aria Pool. Aria Pool, Gill Alexander from VEASAN, Jay Rood, Vice President, Racing Sports at MGM Resorts International. It's March Madness time. Betting fever is here in a big way. The weather is beautiful. And here's the thing. People coming into town, instead of getting into lines Thursday morning and Friday morning, don't fight it. Sign up for the MGM app, the Play MGM app, the simplest thing to do.
Simplest thing, but probably the most important thing you can do as soon as you get here, especially if you're going to be here for all 4 days, gives you the opportunity to avoid the lines. Be the smart one. Be the smart one sitting on the couch, enjoying your cocktail, betting from your phone. But it also gives you the opportunity to probably bet into one of the more value propositions that we're going to offer, and that's in-game wagering. A lot of times, we say sometimes you stay away from a game because you don't like it, but something might really develop on the end game that you like, yeah, and you take advantage of it and jump all over it. So it's going to be good for you for many different reasons, but get in here and get signed up for the Play MGM app immediately.
Yeah, and it doesn't take you more than 8-10 minutes
Tops,
maximum.
tops.
Very quick process. Let's get into the West region. This, to me, is the toughest region in NCAA tournament this year. Number 1, Xavier, the first number 1 seed in school history, but it goes far beyond Xavier. Number 2, North Carolina's in there, Jay. And I'm honed in on Michigan, the number 3 seed, taking on the Montana Grizzlies, the number 14 seed. Michigan, 11-point favorites in that, the winner of which will take on number 6 Houston. They're 4-point favorites over San Diego State. The winner of that one will face the winner of Michigan, Montana.
Wow, you're putting Houston through already, though, huh?
I got a 250-to-1 ticket, so I'm a little biased.
A little biased there, yeah, and you got great value on them because right now, after the field came out, they're 40-to-1. So
Nice.
Good value on a team that's played really well, kind of been under the radar. Yeah, I think Michigan, I mean, Beeline is, you know, he
Underrated.
way underrated. Needs to start being talked about as one of the better coaches in the entire country.
Yeah.
Does a great job. Always gets Michigan ready to play when they come into the tournament. They always seem to be, you know, the team coming out of the Big Ten that you're like, wow, really? How? I mean, they just look really good. A 3 seed, I thought was, wow, really, you know, a lot of respect to them. Might be a little bit high, but that should be a great game as well. But I think, you know, like you said, the best game of the entire first round is Houston, San Diego State. I think we're going to be on your side. We're going to be needing Houston really big. I think a lot of people are going to jump on San Diego State because, you know, you and I have talked. There's a little bit of a bias out here in Vegas. I got 2 or 3 properties that have really strong West Coast bias.
Yes.
And we're a Mountain West town with the Rebels being here. So I think there's going to be a little bit of that going on. But yeah, good matchup.
Number 4, Gonzaga, also in the West. I know you have liability on them. You're one of your top 3 liability, along with Arizona.
Yeah, we
Virginia.
had some people jump on 30-to-1 when we put up the team as 68 teams. So we got a little bit of liability there, but you know, to be expected.
Okay, we'll see what Michael Porter Jr. does for Missouri, the 8th seed. The West region, representative of the whole tournament. It is a complete free-for-all, a crapshoot, if you will.
Absolutely, I think it's wide open. I mean, 8 to 10 teams, 12 teams could win this.
All right, we still got the East and Midwest regions to go to. We'll do that next from the Aria Pool. It's Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Time for our favorite segment on Behind the Book, Jay Rood, Gill Alexander. It's Ask the Pro. You're the pro. Ready to be asked?
Yeah, let's go. Fire away.
All right. This comes from David A. on Twitter, at David Adedikin, I believe it is. I think I got that pronunciation right. Here's the question, Jay. Hey, guys. Oh, it's for both of us. Coming to Vegas for March Madness for the first time this year. Can't wait. I know what you mean, man. I'm in the office pool with my bracket, but want to bet some individual games this year, too. Where can I find that value you guys are always talking about? You mentioned some of that earlier.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple of things, right? I have to book every game, being the bookmaker. The players don't have to bet every game, so that alone in itself is value. You know, if you are borderline, you don't feel strongly about a game, stay away from it.
Right.
It might just be a game you want to watch. Maybe you pick up something for the next round that you find that you bet into. The other value is, you know, you might stay away from it, but something might develop in game. And if you have the app, you can bet on the in game and get some value there. But also, a lot of the value is going to be that we have so many people in town this week that you're going to have some inflated numbers on some favorites. You're going to have some inflated numbers on some totals.
Great call.
And especially if you like a favorite, my advice is always, if you like a favorite, I would bet it early, because generally, more often than not, that number is going to creep right before game time. And if you like an over, you probably are going to want to bet it early more often than not, because if you wait till like right before game time, because a lot of people make the mistake of wanting to churn their money right after a game is over. But if you have the bankroll and you like something that's maybe on Friday and it's Wednesday afternoon, bet the game on Wednesday, because more often than not, you're going to be taking the best of it.
Yeah. Conversely, if you're thinking about unders and the dogs, maybe you wait for as long as possible to get the best value on that side. But again, what Jay said at the front, your best advantage as a bettor, you get to choose the games you bet. Jay has to post each and every one of them. We'll get to the other 2 regions behind the book from the beautiful Aria Pool. Coming up, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Back on Behind the Book here from the Aria Pool, the lovely Aria Pool. Gill Alexander from VSiN, Jay Rood, Vice President Race and Sports of MGM Resorts International, the man we're trying to take money from. March Madness, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, first weekend. Let's go to the East region, Jay. Ready?
Let's go, yeah, good region.
Good region. Villanova's the number 1 seed. Villanova, if they advance to the second round, they will have to play the winner of number 8-9 game, Virginia Tech, the Hokies. 2-point favorites against number 9 Alabama. Alabama has this kid, Colin Sexton. Jay, I believe he's a lottery pick. Everybody's fixated on Trae Young of Oklahoma. I get it. Led the nation in points and assists. But Colin Sexton, the best player nobody knows about at Alabama.
Yeah, no, I mean, Alabama, great team. They've matured over the course of the year. I think they're coached really well. I think, like you said, and a great player that can take over a game. And this is the time of year when that can really pay dividends. We're going to see, all you need is a one hot player, like one hot goalie in NHL.
That's right.
And that can carry you a long ways. Obviously, the team's going to have to, support them as they go deeper. But in these first couple of rounds, easy to get through. They do have a tough opponent. I mean, Virginia Tech, and that's not an easy out for them at all. But they're a little bit of a dog there. Good value. I mean, they're almost two teams that kind of pick 'em game. You take a little bit of points and away you go. When in doubt, take the points.
Yeah, and we've seen, of course, one player just will his team. Danny Manning and the Miracles in 1988. Steph Curry with Davidson in his senior year, getting his team to the Elite Eight. Maybe that will be the case for Colin Sexton in Alabama. We'll see.
How about UConn?
UConn
a couple years ago.
Shabazz Napier.
Oh, and we had a guy that came to town and bet money line on those guys over and over. He just kept rolling it.
Yeah.
And with everyone around town, and had a great run.
Oh,
so
huge.
I'm hoping we don't see something like that again. But good players, a couple good players can carry a team deep.
Yeah, and of course we had that with UConn twice, Shabazz Napier and then Kemba Walker before that. There is a 5-12 matchup in that region though. West Virginia, Press Virginia, the number 5 seed, going up against number 12 Murray State. West Virginia, a 10-point favorite. That could be. Murray State is a live dog in that game, and I mean perhaps to win it outright.
Money line, yeah. I mean, that's one of the classic matchups. We've got the prop, the 5-12, and that's going to be one of the, like you said, Press Virginia. But along with that comes some turnovers, and that could dictate something in this game definitely. But 5-12 matchups are going to be littered with maybe some carnage, because New Mexico State is going up my alma mater, going up against Clemson, who has to travel all the way across the country.
Yeah.
Which in these day and age, travel isn't as big a deal. It's not like they're taking the train, but still, it's a big deal.
They are not taking the train. That is true. We still have the Midwest region to go, and there is a 116 matchup. I know it's never happened before. But it could, and there is a possibility in that region we want to talk about. It's behind the book from the Aria Pool, right here in beautiful Las Vegas. Our final segment, Jay, is the Midwest region March Madness. I'm so excited. Thursday and Friday early games, 2 potential upsets. I think number 14 Bucknell school out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania.
Bison.
Yes, against number 3 Michigan State, Sparty.
Yes.
Michigan State 14.5-point favorites in this ball game, and then you have, dare I say, number 16 Penn out of the Ivy League. 14-point dogs, 2 touchdown dogs to number 1 Kansas. I'm not saying they're going to win this, but I think they're going to hang for a while and make it very interesting. Yeah,
I mean, Kansas has not exactly been your typical Kansas team, this year. They've have a little Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in them. Sometimes they don't exactly show up and give their best effort. I think of the number ones, they're probably the thinnest number 1 for sure in this particular spot. And we offer a prop, actually. Will a number 1 seed be behind or tied at halftime?
Really?
And the yes is plus $4, which
Ooh.
I think there could be a few people, going against Xavier possibly, and against Kansas in this particular spot. So we'll see. I mean, we always have a big decision on that because, who's going to lay $6? They always love taking the plus money.
Yeah.
So I'm going to probably be hoping Kansas got 1 point more in them by half.
I love that. Plus 400 on the yes. Will a 16 seed be tied or ahead of a number 1 at halftime?
At halftime. And you get 4 games for the price of 1.
I like it. The other thing that you do, I'm wondering, and we're just going to do this here off the cup, that you do every year, first team to 15. You used to have those props.
Yeah.
I used to crush those. I love those. Was you're going up against a big, a big dog like a Michigan State or a Kansas, and the ability for one of these dogs to get to 15 in a game quicker than the obviously the higher seed, that happens all the time, and you offer pretty nice money on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you get, it's hard to get the general public to lay anything over $2 on the first to 15. I mean, some of these first to 15s we have liability on those that more so than we do on like a regular season Pac-12 game. I mean, they really get bet heavily. And first to 15, a lot of these mid-major schools and these smaller schools, they've got really good 5 guys. They just don't have a bench. to go deep in the game. So they are very competitive in this first to 15. There's a lot of times where, you know, you're really sweating it out. We used to be first to 10. And first to 10 is much easier for the dog to cover than first to 15. So we sort of bumped it up a little bit because a favorite can now recover. If a team gets out to an 8-2, you can almost not recover from that. But at 8-2, you can recover and get to 15 on the favorite side. So it's a wildly popular bet. I mean, some of the biggest cheers and groans happen on the first to 15 in the room.
So much fun. What's your limit on that? You'll take a dime? Maybe.
I've taken 6 figures to him before.
Okay, there you go.
So.
Have you really?
Yeah.
You've taken 6 figures on it. Look at Jay Rood. Finally, the team that you think would win the national championship, what do you think? Who do you think?
Oof. I think I would probably take a shot with Duke.
Okay.
I like Grayson Allen, as long as he doesn't do any hip checking or you know, slapping or tripping or biting or spitting or any of that.
Yeah.
I think they've got a great opportunity. I like their young team with him being the senior leadership there. If I had to take a long shot, I probably would look to Texas Tech. You know, even though out here in Vegas we kind of don't like Chris Beard. You know, he sort of shafted us with the UNLV situation, but I think he's got a really good team. Number 3 seed. I think at 30-1, that's probably some good value.
Yeah, Duke, number 2 seed in this Midwest region. Texas Tech, the number 3 seed in the East region, which we talked about earlier. That does it for us, March Madness. It is the most exciting time of year here in Vegas for sports bettors and otherwise. Everybody comes into town. It is mayhem. The betting is great. It's so much fun.
Great weather.
The weather is spectacular. The pools are now open, and we get to try to take some cash from Jay. But if you are coming into town, again, sign up for the Play MGM app and enjoy winning all that money from Jay. Thanks for tuning in once again. It's Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app.